The arts, pictures, videography, capture and express our time of those events that shaped our lives here on Earth. I'm photojournalist Bill Gill. I have 30 years of TV news experience. During those years, I've shot all kinds of events: breaking news, weather-related stories, sports, documentaries, and feature stories. My award list is quite impressive. 2 Edward R. Murrow Awards for documentaries, the Green Eyeshade Award for Perilous Bridges, AP Award in News and Sports, twice Photographer of the Year in Birmingham, Alabama, 2004 and 6, the BABJ and the NABJ Award for documentaries. I've also been a part of 5 Emmys. The last Emmy was won in 2006, MLK, The Forgotten Film. That was color 8mm footage I secured from an individual. Shots of Dr. King in Selma, Alabama in 1965 during the march. That became a 1-hour special documentary. I'm also a fluent editor as well in non-linear editing, Avid, Final Cut Pro, Edius, and etc. I specialize in corporate videos and workshop seminars, sporting events, personal documentaries, weddings, and much, much more. If you're looking for a master videographer to capture your special events, then give me a call at area code 205-567-2537 or email me at alonze50@yahoo.com.
Locked doors open mysteriously. The Calhoun County family hadn't lived in their secluded hilltop home when unusual things began happening.
People that's bodies is just not satisfied, and I don't actually think they would hurt you, but I believe in ghosts.
I just think it's a lack of knowledge about the house that they just don't understand.
I lived here, I guess, in this house until about 1959. I never even thought about it when I would sleep in this house up here at night of being afraid. It just never worried me one way or another as far as ghosts being around this particular house.
I've become very interested in the history of Anniston. I haven't seen any ghosts yet, but and I think if I did, it would be very interesting. I'd love to. I'd love to talk to some of the people who have lived here before, and I'm sure they would have lots of interesting stories.
Never heard of any ghostly tales. I don't know of any ghosts that related to this house. I feel like that they could just look at this old house and just think of it as an old house that was here 100 years ago, and it was part of Anniston's history, and that we're glad that it's still standing here and hope that it continues to stand. Oh, Kentucky home, oh, Kentucky home,
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mommy's gonna buy you a mockingbird.
It's common to see Bessie Taylor on her front porch, rocking a baby or talking to neighbors. It's also common to see Clyde Phillips reading a newspaper while his grandchildren play in the front yard. For them, this is all familiar. But 1 block away, the scene of Lawrence Leon's murder at this Sneaky Pete's restaurant is not.
It makes you want to lock your doors and put up double burglary doors and whatever, you know. But it's just scary.
It's been real quiet around here. But back on no further back over there, boy, it's a hot shot.
Witnesses say 2 young men walked into the Sneaky Pete's attempting to rob it. When they walked out, Lawrence Leon was dead. The community says it's a murder that didn't have to happen. Eva Bishop calls the crime senseless.
Life is more important than a dollar. And the young people don't care how they get it. They could have gone in there and asked a man for a job. I believe he would have given it to him.
Police won't say how much money the suspects took. We do know they managed to take a life. In Birmingham, Sheila Smoot, NBC 13. Reverend Christopher Hamlin watches as this house goes up in flames.
Old lady, and I have got out, you know.
It was kind of tough, right?
Yes, and all that fire. You know, hey, it's the best thing I can do.
A fire that broke out just steps away from historic 16th Street Baptist Church. Hamlin and his congregation were just wrapping up choir rehearsal when they saw the blaze. Katie Clayton saw it too and rushed inside to get 88-year-old Emma Matthews out.
Some of us were coming out of the building when we were informed that Mrs. Matthews' house was on fire. We called 911. I asked where was Mrs. Matthews, and she was still in the house at the time. So several of us went into the house or tried to go into the house and were met by flames right at the front door.
Reverend Hamlin says this home is at least 100 years old. That was one concern for firefighters. The other concern, making sure the fire didn't spread to the church next door.
You know, it's dark and smoky, but
we've seen water go to the windows and some debris fall on the air conditioning unit, so I know we have incurred a little damage.
Unfortunately, the quick actions of the Birmingham Fire Department weren't able to save this house, but they did save the church next door, and they also saved the life of a woman. In Birmingham, I'm Sheila Smoot, NBC 13.
Moments of shock and disbelief. Some of these high school students actually watched one classmate shoot and kill another.
Most of the time you think of this sort of thing happening in LA or somewhere, you know, not Talladega, Alabama.
The tragedy struck just moments after the final school bell on Thursday afternoon. Students say a classmate pulled a shotgun on 18-year-old Bobby Robertson and blasted him in the stomach.
we just heard a pop and we thought it was a car backfire, and then we saw him laying on the ground. It was just a lot of blood, and then they made us leave.
Robertson died 2 hours later here at Citizens Baptist Medical Center.
He didn't mess with nobody.
Classmates and friends had trouble believing and trouble accepting.
That's just something not normal around here in this little small town, for you to send your child to school and come back, you know, and you don't have them anymore. That's not a nice feeling.
Now, a lot of students say they don't want to go back just yet. The classes will resume here at Talladega High School. The school officials say they'll make some special arrangements to help students cope with this trauma.
Try to reassure them that this is an isolated situation, that we are going to do everything we can to make the school as safe as possible.
For now, students at Talladega High School have a tragedy that's hard to believe and very hard to swallow. In Talladega, Craig Patrick, NBC 13.
Do you need anything from the store, hon? I'm fixing to go.
Doug Smith, his wife, and 2 young children were about to move to a shelter Wednesday night, but they waited too long.
We were standing upright, all huddled together, holding on to each other, and then we were upside down, and then you could hear the noise like a train, and it just slammed us into the ground.
This tornado was extremely powerful. It tore the roof off that building and propelled these huge pieces of twisted metal across the street more than 200 yards. So just imagine what it must have felt like to be inside a mobile home that was picked up and twisted around.
The kids were screaming. My youngest daughter says, "Mom, are we dead yet?"
They were alive. The family was packed inside a small closet. It was the only part of the trailer that remained intact. Mary Lou Smith thinks it's a miracle.
We can replace trailers, but we can't replace their bodies. If the Lord had took them on out, we can't replace them. And I'm thankful for it.
Doug Smith says he's never been a very religious man, but he plans to go to church this Sunday. He's also learned to take tornado warnings seriously.
I hope everybody pays attention to them warnings and get out when you hear them. That's all I can say.
In St. Clair County, Jay Schloining, NBC.
We have been also trying to show you some of the local coverage of this in this area to see how it's been reported in the state of Alabama. Again, correspondent Jay Schloining of NBC-affiliated station WVTF.
Do a personal photo essay, Nat Sound piece, on 5 different individuals, and I was just, this is a part of history that needs to be documented. And I just want to just give thanks for those people who stood in the gate, because if they hadn't, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Now, what I really like about this series of stories is, we've all heard of Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, but these are unsung heroes, people behind the scenes that played such a crucial role. Tell us what our story is on today.
These are foot soldiers. Today our story is on Mr. Huggins, Mr. Lawrence Huggins, who actually had color 8mm footage that was shot during that era.
Let's take a look.
Lawrence F.
Huggins. My first intentions was to join the Freedom Riders. And that was more out of revenge rather than participating in voting rights. That was my hobby, to have a camera or some nature. I knew it might have some importance in that it was the only camera other than the state troopers that was there that was recording preparation for the march, to line up, people lining up for the march and give you an overview of all the participants. I also knew that it was the only film being shot there that was in color, because at that time most news media weren't using color.
What their faces to us does not matter.
I was a teacher, had been off to school and got all the credentials I thought for that would make me a good teacher, and I still couldn't vote. They treated me just like people that hadn't been to school, and it was all based on race. All of us were the same, regardless of what our educational background was. Our race indicate whether we could vote or not vote. Pictures would give you a more vivid insight into what was actually happening. You could not deny that the people weren't beat, the tear gas weren't used, the whips weren't used, the horses weren't there, the people didn't get hurt. It was there on camera to see, and you can continually review it and analyze it. Anything they participate in to make a record of it with a camera or a videotape, because you never know what significance it might have or what value it might later have. And you always said the camera doesn't lie, so it's the most important thing you probably could have available. The person can't deny that's not me. Or you can have these historical pictures. I wish I had taken more still pictures at that time to have.
This Tuesday's march. Great old video, and there's a generation that doesn't even know that that whole world existed back there. It's great stuff. Tomorrow you're going to talk about Bernice Morton.
Now, Mrs. Bernice Morton, she was Dr. King's personal dietitian, and she also prepared the meals for the marchers that marched from Selma to Montgomery.
Just a fantastic story. Thank you, Bill. We'll be looking forward to seeing you each day this week as we commemorate Black History Month.
It is a time which time has forgotten.
Fly away.
Surviving and living off the land.
Well, God's
Mother Nature's backdrop of land, air, and water has provided the complete necessity to sustain life, human life, by working and respecting her land. Meet 88-year-old W.B. Hurd, who in 2008 still lives as he did in the early 1900s.
Nothing but the power coming down from above. Yes, children, I'm glad to be here, because I've come over many a rough road. Have walked all the way from here to Anderson into Atlanta, and back and forth hitchhiking, getting a job done. Take me all night to whoop it out in. But faith and love move the mountain. Get up, Joe. Come on.
He still plows his land with dependable old Joe.
G. Born 1919, November 21st. I done come 88 years old. I started milking cows at 6 years old and plowing a mule. Never did go to school for just a few days, molded to the 4th grade, and never did go through it. That brother means work. He got some people in him.
What do you mean by he got some people?
He don't like to work too much. Yeah, but after I get the ball on him, he just like a child.
He cans.
I'm gonna give you all this can of sugar. I think it's past there.
Has his own irrigation system.
I'm about to fill it back up with water.
Smokehouse.
Yeah, I had something I'll give away the other day.
And still heats his home by conventional old-fashioned methods. Wood. W.B. Hurd taught his 8 children how to survive off the land.
Whoa, Joe, whoa. It's hard for us to imagine today that children had to do chores like plowing and other various things around the house just to survive. Come on, Joe, get up.
Seeing few people during the week, church was always an outlet for the Hurd family.
Oh God, you have given the youth land this morning, God. God persecuted thou me.
After the passing of his first wife, Letha Dale, and his second, Kenny Ridgway,
sound like my mother, sound like my mother, oh, sound like my mother, hear the angels singing. I know how I've been tortured bad when these two ladies left me. They left me unexpected.
At 88, WB has married for the third time to Miss Charlotte Franklin.
Where ain't no love and care. It wouldn't be a highway and a bridge made here with love and care if that road to go across there. A deadbeat ain't wanting to go across there. There's a whole thing down in life now. Sure right. The love and care, get it. But where ain't no love and care, there ain't gonna be nothing going on, nothing but trouble in land.
W.B. Hurd, a man that has brought us a taste of the past with a message for the future. In Graham, Alabama, Bill Gill for NBC 13 HD News.
Why in the world don't you get out here? Why don't you get out here? Huh? Why don't you get out here? Hey, why don't you black son of bitches burnt this school and you through? Hey, man, why don't you get out of here? Say, go now before you die.
We're joined by WVTM photographer Bill Gill, who was beaten as he took the pictures you just saw. This is his first national television interview. Also, here is Morris Dees of the Southern... Bill, what happened?
Well, around 1:20, I got a call. I received a call from my assignment desk.
In the morning?
In the morning. That Randolph County High School was possibly on fire. And I asked Carol, who was...
What's he doing here? You black son of bitches burnt this school and you through! Get out of here. Go now before you die.
One of the most traumatizing experiences looking back at that tape.
Did he throw you down?
I hit the ground. I managed to keep moving. I was telling myself, keep moving, Bill, keep moving, because I felt and I knew that if they were to ever get me down, there was no telling what would have happened.
Marcy.
Right.
What happened to your arm?
The jerking, the twisting, just trying to take my camera away. I knew that I had one of the most important pieces of video that had ever come out of that area.
Destroy